Hi, good afternoon. Welcome to the Marketplace. My name is DARYL. Coming up, National Communications Authority to press ahead with new regulations aimed at checking MTN's market dominance status, a move that will hit its prices, service offerings, and profits. Also coming up, shipping lines to face legal action if inefficient refrigerators and air conditioners find their way onto the market from next year. We'll fill you in on that. And we'll take you to the Ashanti region town where cocoa farmers are hailing new initiative to bridge the access to finance gap. That report from you also in the course of the bulletin. Thanks for being with us. Details after this break. The National Communications Authority will, in the coming weeks, implement new regulations aimed at checking MTN's market dominance. This was after an Accra High Court shut down a judicial review request by MTN on its market dominance tag. George Rafe has the rest of the story.
The court, presided over by Justice J.R. Siedu, argued that the review was dismissed because there was sufficient evidence that the necessary consultation was done by the regulator before the action was taken. The court also argued that the National Communications Authority did not act contrary to the law when it declared MTN as a dominant player in the telecom space. The judge, however, maintained that MTN still has an opportunity to engage the National Communications Authority on these regulations and how it should be implemented. MTN, on the other hand, per the application, was seeking to challenge the move by the regulator after he was declared as a dominant player because he has more than 40% stake in all markets that he operates. In the court application secured by Joy Business, MTN was of the view that the declaration by the National Communications Authority was done in breach of their right to be heard in violation of procedure of fairness. But the National Communications Authority, on the other hand, maintained that there had been significant engagement with MTN on this issue since 2016. Unless MTN is able to fast-track the process to halt the implementation of this ruling by appealing, then the National Communications Authority can go ahead and take actions to check the MTN's monopoly tag. This, analysts say, could negatively affect some service offerings by the telecoms giant. The telecoms operator itself, on the other hand, says going ahead with this move could seriously affect some critical services that it offers to the public as well as its profits. Joy Business understands that the National Communications Authority is in the process of finalizing these regulations that is expected to be implemented very soon. Some industry analysts have also argued that going ahead to implement this move by the regulator may affect future investments into the telecom space.
All right, so we are getting some response to MTN to this. The telecoms giant is warning that moves to enforce the significant market players tag by the regulator will seriously impact on its growth. It argues that it will also affect its performance, innovation, and competitiveness on the telecoms market. These concerns were captured in the telecoms giant's half-year performance statement for this year, as it sought to outline several scenarios on the enforcement of the move that will affect its operations. The telecoms operator also argued that the way the National Communications Authority went about the declaration raises concerns about clear procedural breaches and other substantive issues. You're watching the Marketplace. Let's move on to other stories. The contentious Agyapa Royalties Deal remains a matter of unending debate as both the majority and minority in Parliament are entrenched in their positions. Now, speaking on PM Express with Evans Mensah, the ranking member on the Finance Committee in Parliament, Ato Forson, indicated that government's failure to rescind its decision is a clear attempt to shortchange the country when it gives out mineral royalties worth over $1.7 billion in cash flows to a company that's worth about $1 billion.
And disappointed with the government by the day. Look at the budget statement. If we were to look at the budget statement, for instance, the media review, page 111, it tells you how much you are getting for mineral royalties. In fact, it gives us exactly how much we've had from mineral royalties for half year and going on to the next year. By the end year, how much you are going to get. They are saying you are going to get approximately $1 billion Ghana cedis. Yeah. The same government is telling us that in the course of a year, they are assuming that you are going to get 150 million US dollars per annum for the purposes of mineral gold royalties. That 150 million US dollars, they are saying 75.6% of that amount will be used for the purposes of the collateralization. Okay? So it's going to be given to Agyapa.
Yeah.
75.6%. So that 75.6% approximately amounting to 113 million US dollars. So 113 million US dollars, even if you decide to look at the cash flows in perpetuity and give it to this at the discount rate of 5%, it gives you some estimation around, we are looking at something in the region of about 3.7 billion US dollars per calculation, using a discount rate of 5%. Now, if I decide to come and say that I'm using 15 years, okay? Just the government is saying, because I've heard the deputy minister also say that they later on considered that they're going to use 15 years, the lifetime of the mineral royalties, of a gold mine. Even on 15 years, you are looking at 1.7 billion US dollars. So if government tells me that it's going to, the value of the business of the company called Agyapa is going to be $1 billion. As a member of parliament, I should be able to interrogate the 1 billion, because they are going to list 49% to a private individual. And I expect that that private individual pays the people of Ghana a fair price. Other than that, they have shortchanged Ghana.
Now, on this part, the chairman of the Minerals Income Investment Fund, George Mekuduka, insists the deal is the best for the country to make some revenue from its mineral deposits. According to him, Ghana has nothing to show for as infrastructure from its mineral deposits over the years.
If you could point out one tangible project that we have done in this country out of our royalty.
Oh, come on,
in terms of gold.
No.
I will in a way comment and just leave this transaction to stand. But if we cannot have anything to show out of our gold proceeds, out of our revenue stream, and now there is an opportunity for us to ask questions as you are asking for the first time of our gold royalty in this country. And we're going to list such a company on the London Stock Exchange, and there are procedures to follow, and of which you've not flouted any law. And you tell me because you've not seen the valuation now, of which you will see it going forward. As part of the measures of getting it listed, you need not to make the prospectus public for now.
Now, a revised law promulgated by the Energy Commission will give it powers to take a legal action against any shipping line that accepts inefficient refrigerators and electrical appliances that are substandard. This is a new move by the Commission to eliminate such products which have higher consumption volumes. In a meeting with some shipping lines and importers of such products, Director of Energy Efficiency and Climate Change at the Energy Commission told Joy Business that the revised act is placing the responsibility on shipping lines and owners to reject substandard electric appliances. But let's take you to the Ashanti region, where cocoa farmers have hailed a new initiative by Solidaridad West Africa to help them access financing to support their farms. Under the initiative, farmers are connected to a local bank for loans to buy inputs in time for the farming season. In the following report, my colleague Justice Bedu finds out how this could help boost productivity on cocoa farms.
Ako Monte is one of the hundreds of cocoa farmers in Wioso, a small community in the Ashanti region. Despite the high levels of foreign exchange that cocoa-producing nations like Ghana earn from the sale of the product, the people behind the production of the crop work and live in abject poverty.
Ebisia sika yede mawa odi beye adwuma na wasan yeden.
Part of the problem is financial illiteracy. Sometimes it's not really because farmers do not have the money. It is how to manage what they have in order to attract investment from financial institutions.
Mostly they complain about the time that they always need funds. There is not always available to them. And then like farm input, to assessing farm input too.
And so part of the solutions the villagers here pioneered for themselves is this savings and loans group. This program is part of an access to finance project led by civil society group Solidaridad West Africa.
Last year, we gave 20 million. We got a motor 19 million. I see what is here, monopa. The mammy to go so regularly. Now, a boy me pa. The ama manager who said this year, so that's not be now, mania inputs can so and their support.
Fidie we no. Yene Solidaridad for a day Juma and I never busan wo ye de toy. Nyanya kofa toy no. Ye bre e wo abobo ya no ho. Ya nkasa mpodi ye bre ankasa. Nso ene no se me kofa me lodu na. Lo fidie no si ho na ma sesa me lodu no ayeden egum.
Justice Beidou, JoyNews. We also in the Ashanti region.
All right, you're watching The Marketplace. We are taking a short break. We've got plenty more coming up. Stay tuned. Welcome back to The Marketplace, everyone. 3 members of the Coalition of Aggrieved Customers of the Class 53 Fund Management Companies have been arrested for leading a protest at the premises of the Finance Ministry. Members of the group besieged the Ministry of Finance yesterday to protest the exclusion of members of Black Shield Capital Limited from government's proposed bailout packages for customers of the defunct fund management firms. I have in studio with me the PRO Charles Nyame and the Secretary Joseph Aite, all of the Coalition of Aggrieved Fund Management Companies, to discuss more of this. It's great to have you in the studio with us this afternoon. So what exactly transpired at the Ministry of Finance?
Good afternoon, DARYL, and good afternoon to your viewers. Yesterday, what actually happened was that on Friday, we picked information from a press release issued by the Securities and Exchange Commission that they were commencing payments for customers of fund management companies. Unfortunately, in the press release, they indicated that Gold Coast customers were not part. Apparently, Gold Coast customers alone happen to be 82% of the total customer base within the fund management sector. So it was it came as a
Black Shield.
Non-Black Shield.
Yeah.
So it came as a huge surprise to us. So somehow on Sunday, the management of Gold Coast came out with a rejoinder to dispute some of the reasons given by the Securities and Exchange Commission to exclude their customers from the government bailout package. And in one of the main issues cited by the Securities and Exchange Commission was that they are unable to include those of us from Gold Coast Fund Management, which is Black Shield now, because the management of the company are in court seeking a restoration of the license that was revoked. In the rejoinder that was brought up on Sunday by the management of the company, they indicated that the regulator, which is Securities and Exchange Commission, should not use that as an excuse from paying the customers. And according to them, they were willing to engage the regulator and to engage with the customers to make sure that in that tripartite we are able to come to a compromise to be able to allow government to pay customers. Unfortunately, we tried to find out answers. We've written officially to the Securities and Exchange Commission to want to engage them on the way forward, because you know it's been over 2 years since our funds got locked up. And when we wrote to Ogbamitete wrote back to us telling us that he's not interested in meeting with the customers. And we feel that this is all about engagement. And we also wrote another letter even to the Finance Ministry, thinking that we will get the opportunity to meet. They also deny meeting us. So we made effort at practically wanting to engage these people. So yesterday, when we heard the news on Friday, we decided abruptly, customers came from all walks of life, and we met at the finance ministry to seek answers. Because, you know, already people are going through a lot of difficulties as a result of these locked-up funds. Okay, so yesterday when we got there, we don't know what happened, but they invited the police, and we had about almost 70 built men, I mean, fully armed. They came, they started beating us. They had electric shockers in their hands. They started touching the old ladies. There were a lot of old ladies around.
Did you have authorization for this protest?
That's what I'm saying. That it wasn't a protest. We didn't go there to protest. It wasn't a demonstration.
Okay.
We went there to seek answers. Okay, because the point is that we have written officially to want to meet with the finance ministry team. They have not even acknowledged receipt of our letter. We've written to SEC. SEC actually acknowledged receipt of our letter, but they indicated that they are unable to meet us. Okay, so the customers that were there, we were over 100 customers that met at the finance ministry. But the point, however, remains that this was not an organized protest.
Right, so what's happened to your friends who were arrested by the police?
Okay, yesterday I was one of those arrested by the police, and I was a bit molested and handcuffed, and together with me, two old folks, one man, one woman, in the ages of almost 70 years, were also arrested around let's say 11 o'clock in the morning, and we were allowed bailed around 6:30 p.m. in the evening. But to quickly add to what my brother just said, my friend just said, you see, if the Securities and Exchange Commission is using the grounds that the company is in court, and for that matter, its customers cannot be paid unless the court decides on the case at court, it's neither here nor there. I'm making reference to their press release dated 28th of August. In the press release, they made the public understand that after the revocation of the licenses, they took 5 categorical steps. In these 5 categorical steps, one of them, they said that after the revocation, they foresaw that if they are to go through the normal processes according to their establishment, they have to go through court, secure liquidation orders, liquidate these companies before they can pay its customers. So they engage the government through the Ministry of Finance, trying to reason with them that these customers have already suffered over 2 years. Therefore, the government should release a bailout package in the form of social intervention. All these things that I'm saying are in their press release. In a form of social intervention to relieve the customers, because the payment from the court processes can be protracted and delayed. So if this is the grounds by which SEC reasoned with the government to release the bailout package, how then should SEC come through behind the door and also use the same reason for which the bailout package was released against the customers, that the case is at court? Unless the court decide on the case, we can't use the bailout package, which is to relieve you from the prolonged case that will be delayed at court. So this is neither here nor there. Again, quickly, to add to it, in the case of the banking revocation, we have instances that Unibank is still in court, Unicredit is still in court, GN Savings and Loan is still in court. But when the government rolled out the bailout package, the receiver and the Bank of Ghana didn't say that because these owners of the companies are in court contesting for the revocation of their license, so their customers are not going to be part. Right. Why is SEC and government applying the rules differently in our case?
All right.
They should answer.
We just have about a minute to do this. And so we are currently at a stalemate, if I should say, because you're not hearing anything from the finance ministry, neither are you hearing from SEC. I don't think they are budging in moment from now. So what do you intend to do? Are you both customers of Black Shield?
Yes, please. Leaders of the group.
Right. Are you able to share how much money you have with them?
Okay. My sister, my elder sister, has 5.7 million Ghana cedis, new Ghana cedis there. Together with my wife, we have 140,000 Ghana cedi there. My mother-in-law has 90,000 Ghana cedi there. Okay? So this is how much my family has in there. Almost 6 million Ghana
That's quite an investment. So, I mean, what are you going to do now? I mean, seeing that you are not getting the response that you actually wanted to hear.
It's pretty obvious that somebody is not telling us the truth, okay? Because, you see, we know the court is on a legal vacation, and they are only coming back in November. So if, let's assume, without admitting that Gold Coast is in court, then it means that we are going to end the year with us still not having access to our money. And this financial sector cleanup that they did within the fund management sector has actually cost people their lives. Almost every other week, as leaders, we hear of people dying on a regular basis. And I think human lives, I mean, we need to put some value on human lives here, as against what we are hearing. Another very interesting excuse that the Securities and Exchange Commission gave was that they don't have access to client data. And this is very untrue, because even before they revoked the license, they had done a forensic audit. And in the forensic audit, they use customer data as part of the process to do the audit. So what are they talking about?
Thank you, guys. Certainly an issue worth revisiting, especially when SEC has said that they're going to start paying in a couple of months. They're going to draw up a plan next month. But your situation with Black Shield is quite peculiar. So we'll find out what they intend to do if we still have to wait till the legal issues are sorted out. And that's the Marketplace. Thanks for watching. My name is DARYL.